Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, I'm happy that you stopped by. Today we're going to make some iced gingerbread oatmeal cookies. These cookies are packed with gingerbread flavor. They are soft in the middle, but crunchy on the outsides, just like a cookie should be. And then they are iced with a vanilla glaze. Yum! So let's get started. We're going to start off with 2 cups of old-fashioned whole rolled oats. And we're going to put them in the food processor and pulse it about 10, maybe 12 times. I'm going to do this 1 cup at a time. So here's our 2nd cup, all mixed up. And it has a variety. It has still some whole oats in there. It has some oat flour. And that's what you want, just a variety of textures. And we're going to pour that in here. Next, we're going to add 1 teaspoon of baking soda, a ½ teaspoon of salt, and this little spice bomb is a combination of ground cinnamon, nutmeg, cloves, and ginger. And I'll leave the recipe in the description below. Once we have this, we're going to whisk it together, and then we're going to add some flour. This is 1 2/3 cup of all-purpose flour. Next, we're going to beat our dry ingredients together. So that's a 1 cup of brown sugar. This is a 1/4 cup of regular granulated sugar and a 1.5 sticks of unsalted butter. We want to mix this together on about medium-high speed until it's well creamed, about 2 minutes. In addition, we're going to add 1 egg, and this is a 1/4 cup of unsulfured molasses, and this is really going to enhance the gingerbread flavor. We're going to beat this on high speed until it's all combined, about 1 minute. Your mixture may look like this. It may look a little broken. That's perfectly normal. And once we add our dry ingredients, everything will look fine. Now we're going to add our dry ingredients. And I like to add this a little bit at a time so that you don't get a flour dust cloud as you're mixing it. So I'm just going to mix this a little bit together. As you're mixing the dry ingredients into the wet ingredients, it's going to be very thick and a little sticky. That's fine. This is what your dough should look like. If I just take a little bit out, it's, as you can see, it's very thick and it is a little sticky. Now let's get baking. You want to line a cookie sheet with some parchment paper. Preheat your oven to 350 degrees. And what I'm using is a medium size cookie scoop. And I'm going to put these about, I don't know, 2 inches apart. This is going to hold 16 cookies, if that gives you any indication. This recipe also calls for the dough to be chilled about ½ an hour. And I did it both ways, chilled and unchilled, and I actually am favoring unchilled. So I'm probably just going to make about 16 cookies. I'm going to have a lot of dough left over, so what I'm going to do is just scoop it into cookie dough balls and freeze them. And what's nice is that this dough can freeze up to 3 months. Also, if you want to make half the cookies now and then maybe half the cookies in a couple more days because you're having company, that's fine. This dough can store in the refrigerator for up to 4 days. So you can store it for 4 days, you can freeze it until you need it, totally up to you. Now we're gonna pop these in the oven. As I said, I think I said preheat the oven to 350, and then we're gonna bake them for 12 to 13 minutes. Our cookies are out of the oven, and this is what they look like. You want to cool them on the cookie sheet for 5 minutes, and these have already been cooling. And then you just want to take the parchment paper and just slide it off the cookie sheet. And then I'm just going to let them cool completely on the parchment paper. You can put them on a cooling rack, that's fine. But remember, we're going to be drizzling a vanilla glaze on these. And I kind of feel like I just want to get one thing dirty that I can throw out, and that's the parchment paper. Up to you. Now let's make our vanilla glaze. I'm only making a half recipe of the glaze, since I only made a half recipe of the cookies. And this is about 3/4 of a cup of confectioner's sugar. It says to sift it, but you can get the same effect really by just whisking it and getting all the clumps out. Next we're going to add about 1/8 of a teaspoon of vanilla, half recipe. Oh. And a little bit of milk. This is about 2 tablespoons that I have in here, and I'm just going to see what the consistency is. You don't want to get it too thin, but you don't want to get it too thick, have it too thick either. So as you can see, this is pretty thick. More milk to thin it out a little bit, because it's going to be like a drizzle. And this is probably what I want, just like this. Now that our cookies are completely cooled, time to glaze. This is just a little contraption I have to make it easier, but we're going to go side to side and then up and down. Side to side, up and down. And you can do this with a Ziploc bag that you've cut a little hole in on the side. That's fine too. Side to side and then up and down. Our cookies are ready to stack because the icing has set. And we're just going to put them on a plate like this for now. And this is what I was talking about. All you have to do now, pull up your parchment, and in the garbage it goes. All right, usually I taste test with you, but I already took a bite because I couldn't wait, but these cookies are so good. The ginger really comes through, and you have texture from the oatmeal. It's such a delicious cookie, perfect for the holidays or to give as a gift. And it makes my tummy happy. Well, thanks for joining me today, everyone. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing. I'd love to have you. Have a great day, everyone, and I'll see you next time.